strange southern ways. As far as he was concerned, the bars all closed way too early, and it was next to impossible to find a good bratwurst. When he found something else strange to him about living in the South, Brian would get this kind of confused expression on his face, and that's when we turn to him and say, "Brian, don't be such an icehead." And for a very long time, that was his nickname, Icehead. But I honestly have to tell you that I can't remember the last time I called him that. Because over the course of his long life here in Richmond, he adapted so well to the lifestyle here. He grew to love so much this city and Virginia and all the wonderful friends and family that he found here, that it was clear that it was here, this was where he belonged. Seeing so many of you gathered here today to remember Brian is the absolute proof to me of something that I've known for a long time. For a man that came here with practically nothing, he ended up with everything that mattered. Like the character of George Bailey in the film It's a Wonderful Life, in all the ways that count, Brian was truly one of the richest men in town. I think of Brian as a real-life George Bailey whose life touched and affected the lives of so many others in so many ways that they will never all be known, and it was a wonderful life that he led. Brian had several families here, really. First and always foremost, his own family, Kathy and Kate, whom he loved so very, very much. And all the wonderful members of Kathy's family, the Graham clan, and all of their friends, all of whom embraced Brian so thoroughly and loved him so completely. He had his family from the world of theater, from Theater, Virginia, where Brian started his professional career and where he worked for so many years, both before and during his time here at the Richmond Ballet. His work at Theater, Virginia brought him colleagues and friends who have worked at theaters throughout the country, including the Shakespeare festivals in both Alabama and in Oregon, where Brian also worked for a time. He found friends with people he worked with at places like Paramount King's Dominion and with the stagehands at the Landmark Theater and at the Carpenter Center. And of course, he had his family here in the world of dance, particularly and especially his Richmond Ballet family. And Brian came to love dance as much as he loved theater. And the dance world certainly loved Brian in return. His work sometimes took him to other cities, to other ballet companies in places like Cincinnati and Sarasota, and he found friends there as well. He found friends everywhere he went. That's just the way he was. And Brian knew that all of us who work now, or who have ever worked in the performing arts, are related, that we are all part of the same family. Dancers, actors, designers, choreographers, stagehands, costumers, directors, carpenters, ticket sellers, ushers, everyone on stage or backstage or in the staff in the offices. Every one of us is a whole crazy group of people who are part of what is sometimes called show business. And like everyone who works in the performing arts, he loved and was especially grateful for those who came to view his work, the audience. You've already seen it and heard it before today. I'm here to tell you that the last couple of years, whenever I asked Brian how a show had gone, he would usually say, "Well, we fooled him again." And that was his way of saying, just fine. The show went just fine. It meant that no matter what tiny things might have gone slightly wrong, as they almost always do, the audience had enjoyed and appreciated the hard work and the artistry that they had come to the theater to behold. We fooled them again meant that the audience had applauded. And Brian loved his share of the applause. And he knew he was part of the team that had earned that applause. And quite honestly, nobody had been fooled at all. One of Brian's favorite plays was about show business. It's an old Broadway comedy called Light Up the Sky by Moss Hart. And I know some of you here today worked on productions of that play. And you may already know that one of Brian's favorite quotes was the source of the title of this play. I can still hear Brian reciting the quote to me. "Mad, sire? Ah, yes, mad indeed. but observe how they light up the sky. That's why Brian loved working in the arts. And that's why he loved all of you for your part in it. Mad, sire, yes indeed. Mad indeed. But observe how they do light up the sky. When Brian said those words, his eyes sparkled. They're talking about us, he'd say. That's what we do. And that's what Brian wanted to do with his career and with his life. Light up the sky. And that's exactly what he did, both on stage and off stage, I think. When you talk to Brian, things got a little brighter. Your own burden became a little lighter. And as you went on about your business, whatever it was, it seemed a little easier. His sense of humor, his perspective, his positive attitude, his essential goodness shone through and helped you carry on whatever your job might be. And doing his job was always very, very important to Brian. He took great pride in his work. Saying thank you was always important to him too. When I first met Brian, I remember he had a way of thanking me after I had done my job that I found a little strange at first. Hey, I was just doing my job. No need to thank me for it. But he persisted. Thanks, Paul. Nice job, he'd say. And eventually I grew accustomed to it. And then I found that I liked it. And then I grew to rely upon it. Because when Brian thanked you for doing something, you knew that he meant it. I learned how to say thank you and really mean it from Brian. And I hope I never forget it. If Brian could speak to us out loud at this very minute, I think I know what he'd like to say to us. And I'd like to try to say it for him. I think Brian would say, thank you. Thanks to all of you for being here and for remembering me and for loving me. Thanks for coming to see our shows. Thanks for working with me. We did our jobs together for so many years, and now it's still your job to keep on lighting up the sky. Even though I'm not around to help the same way I used to, when you remember me, I'll try to help you if I can. Thanks for helping me to light up the sky, Brian would say. Thank you for letting me help you light up the sky. Keep on lighting up the sky, all of you. It's your job. It's your life. And thanks for letting me be a part of it. And so, thanks to you, Brian, from all of us. We loved you, we miss you, and we'll never forget you.
Must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let us shine. You always walked a step behind. So we were the ones with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. We want you to know that you're our hero. And everything we would like to be. We are flying higher than the eagle. 'Cause you are the wind beneath our wings. Thank you, thank God for you, the wind beneath our wings. As we thought about this time together, the family and friends thought it was very, very important to provide space and time and voice for any of you who are sitting there with your own memories and stories or jokes that you would like to share. So I would invite you, if you are willing to share that with this group, to share your own memories. You may stand either where you are and speak loudly so that we may hear, or you are welcome to come and use the mic. The floor is open.